them by being attentive. Please sit down, everybody. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So we will start off the amazing performance by Vishaka.
Gita Fair by Vishaka. Gita Fair by Vishaka. Sloka, Chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme, verse 15. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkalaya masasvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. Translation: After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. Purport summarized. This verse refers to the personalistic devotees of Lord Krishna. They achieve the highest perfection and are super souls, Mahatmas. Vedic literatures describe the supreme planet as Avikta, Akshara, and Paramagati. Avikta and Akshara, a planet beyond material vision and inexplicable. Paramagati, the supreme destination, a destination for Mahatmas. Descriptions of Mahatmas. Receive in Parampara. They receive transcendental messages from the realized devotees. Gradual development. They gradually develop devotional service and Krishna consciousness. Highest absorption. They get so absorbed that no desire of any elevation to any material or spiritual planets. Only desire. They only want Krishna and Krishna's satisfaction, the highest perfection of life. A story about Jadabharata's story. Although Bharat Maharaj was very elevated, he fell down due to his attachment to a young deer. One day after Bharat Maharaj had taken his bath as usual in the river Gandaki and was chanting his mantra, he saw a pregnant deer come to the river to drink water. Suddenly he heard the thundering roar of a lion, and the deer was so frightened that it immediately gave birth to its calf. It then crossed the river but died immediately thereafter. Bharat Maharaj took compassion upon the motherless calf, rescued it from the water, took it to his ashrama, and cared for it affectionately. As he became more attached to the deer, his devotional service slackened. Although he was able to give up his opulent kingdom, he wasn't able to renounce his attachment to the deer. Thus he fell down from his mystic yoga practice. Because his mind was fully absorbed in thinking of the deer, he naturally took his next birth in the womb of a deer. However, because he was considerably advanced spiritually, he did not forget his past activities, even though he was in the body of a deer. He could understand now how he had fallen from his exalted position, and remembering this, he left his mother deer again and went to Pulaha ashram. After having given up the body of a deer, he took birth in the womb of a youngest wife of a Brahmana. In this life, he could also remember the activities of his past life, and in order to avoid the influence of society, he remained like a deaf and dumb person. When Bharat Maharaj was in the body of a Brahmana, the people in the neighborhood thought of him as a crazy, dull fellow, but within he was always chanting and remembering Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vishaka. That was very, very inspiring. Basically, if we continue our devotion, then even birth after birth, that doesn't stop. We can continue from where we left. Again, can I request everybody to please settle down? It is very, very distracting for the kids when people are standing up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next up, we have Tanvi. She will be teaching us about verse 9.22.
Promise of the Absolute by Tanvi. Bhagavad Gita 9.22. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Translation. Those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Purport summarized. One who practices the 9 processes of devotional service, the Lord made a promise that He will carry what they lack and preserve what they have through this verse. Krishna has many names his devotees call him out of love, such as Shamsundara, Giridhari, Madhusudana, and etc. But his favorite name to be called is Bhakta Vatsala, which means that he protects and always maintains his devotees. Story of Arjunacharya. There's an interesting pastime related to this verse. Arjunacharya, a Brahmana and a great devotee of Lord Krishna, was once reading the Bhagavad Gita. When he reached this verse, he crossed out Vahamyaham, which means that Krishna personally comes to maintain his devotees, and wrote Karoti, which means he has it done by somebody. He did this as he was struggling to maintain his family and thought, why would Krishna, being such a great person, come down to help a poor man like him? After doing this, he went out to take a bath. When he was gone, 2 boys, one who was dark complexioned and the other one fair, came to their house. Arjunacharya's wife opened the door and saw that they had a bullock cart full of grains, ghee, vegetables, and fruits. When she asked them, why have you brought this? They said that Arjunacharya, their master, would ask them to hold it on their head, but since they refused, he beat them. Then the dark complexioned boy showed 2 marks which looked like somebody had beat him on his back. Arjunacharya's wife was very angry at seeing what her husband had done. After that, Arjunacharya came back and his wife immediately asked him, why did you beat those 2 innocent boys? Arjunacharya was very confused and then Arjunacharya's wife narrated the whole incident. After that, Arjunacharya asked her to describe the 2 boys. Then Arjunacharya's wife said that one was dark complexioned and the other one was fair. One had a flute and the other one had a plow. Then Arjunacharya realized that his wife had the darshan of Krishna and Balram, and he realized that he had done a mistake, and then he erased the crossed out Vahamyaham. Moral. Krishna came to deliver the message that he will personally maintain and protect his devotees. Krishna made a promise to all his devotees through this verse, and he will never break it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Tanvi. This is a very important verse, because as we are developing our faith, sometimes we think, okay, I don't have this quality. How am I going to progress in my Krishna consciousness? So here Krishna tells us very clearly that if we continue to chant his names, then he will bring what we lack so that we can proceed nicely. So thanks a lot, Tanvi. Next up we have Sanjana, and she will be talking about verse 9.34.
Surely You'll Come to Me by Sanjana Perla. Shloka Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, the confidential knowledge, verse 34. Manmanabhava madbhakto madhyajibam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvevam atmanam matparayanaha. Translation. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Purport summarized. This verse points out clearly that Krishna consciousness is the only means of going back to Godhead. How to engage one's mind. Engage in his eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, with conviction that Krishna is the supreme. Engage body, mind, and activities in his service without deviation, the 9 activities. Benefit. Transfers to Krishna Loka for deliverance from material world. Now I'll be giving you examples of divine mentalities and demoniac mentalities. Divine mentalities. They think of Krishna all the time and engage in the 9 different processes of devotional service. Hearing, chanting, and remembering the holy name, form, pastimes, qualities, and entourage of the Lord. Offering service according to the time, place, and performer. Worshipping the deity. Offering prayers, always considering oneself the eternal servant of Krishna, making friends with him, and dedicating everything onto him. An example would be Ambarish Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. Even when they were in grave danger, they kept on praying to Krishna for help. Pure devotional service is the highest achievement of human society. Demoniac mentality. They also think of Krishna, but enviously, just like King Kamsa, Krishna's uncle. He was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love, that is bhakti. Theme. Worship Krishna directly. Haribol.
Thank you, Sanjana. Yes, this verse is again really one of the very important verses because this is the only verse in Bhagavad Gita which is repeated about, Krishna repeats this verse about 3/4 of the verse again later. So this is indeed a very important verse. Thank you, Sanjana. Next up we have Bhavik. And he will be talking about verse 10.8.
Hare Krishna, everybody. My name is Bhavik, and I'm going to be presenting verse 10.8, the Supreme Source. Aham sarvasta prabhavo matta sarvasta pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Krishna says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. The main point of the purport. The patriarchs like Shiva and the others are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by Krishna because they are deluded by Krishna's illusionary energy. In the Varaha Purana, it also says that Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from whom Brahma was born, from whom Shiva was born. So Krishna is the source of all generations. Everything is under him. No one's above him. He's like a CEO of the whole world. So he's like the top of the top, and then everyone comes underneath him. He is the supreme controller. There's no other supreme controller other than Krishna. If you understand Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Srila Prabhupada or all the other great Maharajas, you can engage your energy in Krishna consciousness and become a truly learned man. So here you can see that the material and spiritual realms. So Krishna is at the top, and then comes Vishnu, then Shiva, then Brahma, and all of us. So from Krishna, Brahma was born to his navel from a lotus flower, and from him, he made Shiva, he made the 4 Kumaras, he made everyone else. He also made us. So if it wasn't for Krishna, we wouldn't all be here right now. So he is the main source. Brahma might be like a source, but Krishna is empowering him to do everything he can do right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavik. Awesomely summarized. Krishna is the CEO. We just need to understand that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Akshara, who will be leading us into the 11th chapter with verse 32.
Hare Krishna everyone, my name is Akshara and today I'm going to explain about 3 verses from the 11th chapter. And my topic today is be an instrument of Krishna. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kalosmi Loka Kshayakrit Pravritto Lokan Samahartumiha Pravritta Ritepi Tvamna Bhivishyanti Sarve Yevashtita Pratyanikeshu Yoda. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Time I am, the destroyer of the world, and I've come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain." तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रुन् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धं मयैव ते निहता पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यानपि योधवीरान् मया हतं स्वं जहिमा व्यतिष्ठा युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपत्नान्. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. My explanation. In these 3 verses, Lord Krishna tells about the purpose of his Kalarupa to Arjuna. He comes in the form of time to destroy everyone except the Pandavas. My understanding of this first verse is Krishna says to Arjuna that the Kauravas will be destroyed even if Arjuna did not fight, and they would die in another way. As time, he devours everybody and everything. And in the second verse, Krishna tells Arjuna to be an instrument in his mission and asks him to get up and fight to win glory. The whole world is moving according to the plan of Lord Krishna. In the third verse, Lord Krishna was assuring to Arjuna that his plan would succeed. He did not need to hesitate. The Lord is very kind and merciful and wants to give credit to his devotees if one carries out the plan according to his desire. Some examples of devotees who followed Krishna's instructions: Arjuna, Prahlad Maharaj, Ambrish Maharaj, Hanuman, Sugriva, and Prabhupada, and our Guru Parampara. This is a picture of Krishna's Kalarupa. We have to understand the plan of the Supreme Lord by practicing Krishna consciousness, which is following his instructions of Bhagavad Gita through his pure devotees. In this way, we will become an instrument of Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshara. Yeah. Wish I could become an instrument of Krishna by becoming so pure. Not there, not even close to it, but still, that's a wish. Thank you, Akshara. Next up, we have Vaishnavi, who will be talking about verse 41 in chapter 11.
Gita Fair presentation by Vaishnavi Vidyasagar. By the grace of Prabhupada, I'm here standing and talking about Krishna. Hello. Familiarity breeds contempt. When we know someone very well and who is very great, because of pure familiarity with them, we tend to forget their greatness and take them for granted, which leads to contempt. Sakheti matva prasabam yadutvam He Krishna He Yadava He Sakheti Ajanata mahimanam tavedam Maya pramadat pranayena vapi Yachavasasram asatkritosi Viharasayasana bhojaneshu Eko tavapi achata tatsamaksham Tatshamaye aham aprameyam. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava. O my friend, not knowing your glories, please forgive whatever I may have done, in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, sat or ate together, sometime alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, O please excuse me for all those offenses. When Krishna shows his universal form to Arjuna, he feels a gush of emotions. At once he realizes that the person who he thought was his close friend was no one but the origin of everything. He then understood that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At that moment, he recalls his friendship with Krishna. Arjuna asks for forgiveness for all the informal gestures which rise out of friendship, such as jesting as they relaxed, laying on the same bed, or sat or ate together. Lord, please excuse me for all those offenses. As you read the Bhagavad Gita, you learn that the relationship between the Lord and the living entity is fixed, which is forgotten as we can see from this example. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tamasya pujasya gururgariyan natva samosti apyatikhi kutonyo lokatrayapre apratima prabhava. You're the father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and non-moving. It is worshipful chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you in the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? What I learned from this verse is that Krishna is the cosmic manifestation of the moving and non-moving. He is the spiritual master because he gave Vedic instructions to Brahma and is directly informing the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. One who isn't a representative of the Lord cannot become a teacher or a spiritual master. It is also stated in the Upanishad 6.8 that no one is greater to or higher than Krishna. Everyone is below him and no one can excel him. Therefore, the strength, knowledge, and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are all transcendental, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Tasmat pranamya pranidayikayam prasadaye tvam aham isha idyam piteva putrasya sakheva sakhyam priya priyaya hasideva sodam. You're the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are worshipped by every living entity. Thus I fall down to offer you my humble obeisances and ask for your forgiveness and mercy, says Arjuna. Krishna relates to his devotees in various ways. One might treat Krishna as a husband, a friend, or a master. Krishna and Arjuna relate in friendship. As a father and husband tolerate, so does Krishna. That's why he forgives Arjuna.
So what I learned was that Krishna relates to us, his devotees, in many ways. Also, no one is greater than Krishna, and if I do make a mistake on my journey to Godhead, I hope Krishna will tolerate me. Chant the Maha Mantra and go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Bol and Hare Krishna.
Vaishnavi. Next up, we will have Advait. And he'll be leading us into chapter 12, verse 8.
Hare Krishna, my name is Advait. I'm going to be talking about chapter 12, verse 8. The title of my presentation is Live for Krishna, Live to Krishna, Live in Krishna, and finally live with Krishna. How can we live spiritually in the material world? Many devotees seek answer to this question. The Bhagavad Gita 12.8 to 12.12 explains multiple descending ladders at which we can connect ourselves with Krishna. The first verse, 12.8, reveals our universal bhakti principle. By offering Krishna our inner world, our mind, and our intelligence, we can offer him our complete being. Let's understand the different ways by which everyone can connect with Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, devotional service. Text 8. Mayeva mana adhasta mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasisyasi mayeva ata urdam na samshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence on me. Thus you'll live in me always without a doubt. The 5 different ways to connect with Krishna, everyone can do it. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you live in me always without a doubt. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me with deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you'll come to the perfect stage. If, however, you're unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Live for Krishna. Fix the mind on Krishna. As the mind is the reservoir of desires, this recommendation essentially means making Krishna the central object of our desires, living to desire him, and desire the things of this world for his service. That is nothing but living for Krishna. Live through Krishna. Fix the intelligence on Krishna. Fix the intelligence on Krishna. This implies that we use our intelligence to understand his message and thus see everything to a Krishna-centered worldview. Thereby, we live through Krishna. That is, we go through life with Krishna's message as the framework for making sense of life and for growing devotionally through life's happenings. Krishna. Fix the mind and intelligence on Krishna. Where our thoughts and desires are, that's where we are essentially. This is something similar to daydreamers. They're in one place physically but are experimentally in another place, the place of their dreams. The difference between daydreamers and devotees, of course, is that Krishna is not a dream, but it's the supreme reality. Supreme reality. Live with Krishna. Those who live in Krishna lifelong in the material world will live with him forever in the spiritual world. Thank you and Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'd like to thank for teaching us about Krishna. I'd also like to thank Srinivas Kasan for helping me in this presentation.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Advait. Thank you. Next, we have Neha. And she'll be talking about 13.8 through 12.
Gita Fair by Neha Itaraju. The topic I'll be talking about today is humbleness is a door to wisdom. Verses 13.8 to 13.12. Amanitvam madambitvam ahimsa shantirajyavam acharyopasanam saucham stairyam atma vinigraha indriyartesu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vaidi dukkha doshana darsanam asaktirana vishvanga putra dara grahadisu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu Mai chananya yogena bhaktiravya vicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratir jana samsadi adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etadjnanam iti proktam ajnanam yad atonyata. Each word or phrase means a quality that we all must achieve. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of evil of birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom of entanglement with children, wife, home and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to the God, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization. My explanation to these verses. In these verses, Krishna explains the process of obtaining spiritual knowledge. The process contains of cultivation of 20 qualities that begins with humility, which opens the door to wisdom. Before we achieve anything, we must achieve Mai Chananya Yogena, or constant and unalloyed devotion to the Lord. If we do not achieve this quality, the other 19 are of no particular value. In the purport of 13.12, it states, all the good qualities of knowledge develop in one who has attained the stage of devotional service. So once you have achieved loyal devotion to God, the rest will develop automatically. But there is also one other quality that goes hand in hand with constant and loyal devotion to the Lord: humility. Without humbleness, you'll not achieve stuff like pridelessness or simplicity. And without constant and unalloyed devotion to the Lord, you basically did not achieve anything. But when we finally do achieve all these 20 qualities, we will achieve the absolute truth. I would like to thank Kasim Prabhu for helping me understand and pronounce these verses, and also join the chat call, Chapter a Day, to learn and recite Bhagavad Gita from Monday to Friday, 12:30 to 1:30.
Thank you, Neha. Yes, humility is the hallmark quality that we all need to develop. Next up, we'll have Divija, and she'll be telling us about 14.5.
Gita Fair, The Three Modes by Divija. Bhagavad Gita 14.5. Sattvam rajastamam miti guna prakriti sambhava nibandanti mahabaho dehi deninam avyayam. Translation. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. The modes. Mode of goodness. The representative type is a Brahmana. The mode of goodness means greater knowledge and a greater sense of happiness. Mode of passion. He wants to enjoy sense gratification and wants to work and get money to enjoy the sense gratification. The mode of goodness. The mode of ignorance. The mode of ignorance is just the opposite of the mode of goodness. Everyone under the spell of the mode of ignorance becomes mad, and a madman cannot understand what is what. Goodness. He works in knowledge and has a sense of happiness, satisfaction, and knowledge. They go back to planets like Brahmaloka after death. People work with attachment to fruitive results in the mode of passion, and they have intense, unlimited desires and longings, great attachment, and love to do fruitive activities. After death, they attain earthly planets. Ignorance. A person in the mode of ignorance works under madness, illusion, and sleep, which results to delusion, darkness, and madness. Their destination after death is birth in lower species or life in hellish worlds. Conclusion. One must elevate to the mode of goodness from lower modes. Situated in the mode of goodness or knowledge, one performs devotional service. Then he transcends the three modes. After reaching Suddha Sattva stage, or the transcendental to the mode stage, he continues Bhakti Yoga and one attains the final destination of Krishna Prem. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Divija. I used to be always bewildered by what these three modes were, but this slide and Divija's explanation made it so much easier. So thank you, Divija. Next up, we will have Satwik. And he'll be talking about 14.7.
The Three Modes of Material Nature by Satwik. The sloka of this topic, Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam Rajasolo Vayevacha Pramada Moho Tasmo Bhavato Jnanam Evacha. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, develops greed, and from the mode of ignorance, develops madness, foolishness, and delusion. The first mode, the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness is when we serve, chant, and do service do Krishna conscious activities. So Prabhupada says, be in the mode of goodness. And if you be in the mode of goodness, you have a chance to go back to Krishna. The second mode, passion. Passion is the mode of goodness, the mode when you think about money and all these useless stuff. And you might not go back to Krishna. The third mode, ignorance. Ignorance is when you're all drinking alcohol and all these drunk stuff, and then you can't go back to Krishna or take a human life. You might take like animal lifetimes like ant, insects, and go through all these life cycles. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Satvik. That made it even more clear with all the examples, things we should not be doing. Thank you so much. Next up, we will have Agastya. Do we have him here? Come back to, okay. Okay, then we'll go with Nila. One of the very important verses, 15.15.
Krishna is nearest, so let's make him our dearest. By Neela. Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarver ahameva vedyo Vedanta Krit Veda Viddeva Chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. From the purport. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and it is from him that all activities are initiated. Knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness are supplied to the living entity, and Krishna also awards the different fruitative results. He is worshipable not only as the impersonal Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but also as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. The Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back home to Godhead. He is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Thus, God is all good and all merciful. Two birds in a tree analogy. For example, there are two birds in a tree. These two birds are representing the two souls in our body, Jivatma and Paramatma. The Jivatma is eating the fruits of the tree, and the Paramatma is just watching the bird. When the Jivatma is eating bitter fruits, he is suffering, and when he is eating sweet fruits, he is enjoying. The fruits are karma. The Paramatma is only witnessing, not getting affected by what the other bird is eating. Krishna is in our heart, and he is the nearest to us. Since he is the most near, let's make him the most dear. How to make Krishna our dearest? To make Krishna very dear to us does not mean to renounce the world or neglecting our worldly relationships. It just means connecting those relationships to our spiritual relationship with Krishna. The 9 processes of devotional service is the way to render the best service to him. How to make Krishna our dearest continued. The 2 best ways of the 9 processes is hearing and chanting the Lord's names and pastimes. In this age of Kali, the chanting of the names is the easiest way to go back home, back to Godhead. It is mentioned in the Kali Santarana Upanishad that these 16 names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the prescribed names for chanting. Thank you.
Thank you, Nila. Very well summarized. We need to make Krishna our dearest. Next up, we'll have Sai Krishna. Oh, okay. We'll have Agastya. Agastya, chapter 15, verse 7.
Hare Krishna, my name is Agastya. Today I'll be talking about Bhagavad Gita 15.7. What? Mamaivamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manaha sastani indriyani prakriti stani karshati. The translation is, the living entity in this conditioned world are all my eternal fragmental parts. Due to this conditioned life, they have been struggling very hard to control the six senses, including the mind. The living entity is the fragmental part or parcel of the Supreme Lord eternally. According to the Vedic version, the Supreme Lord manifests and expands himself in innumerable expansions, of which the primary expansions are called Vishnu Tattva and the secondary expansions are called the living entities. In other words, the Vishnu Tattva is the personal expansion and the living entities are the separate expansions. The personal expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the individual identities of the Godhead, are always present. Similarly, the separated expansions of the living entities have their identities. As fragmental parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, the living entities also have fragmental portions of his qualities, of which independence is one. The living entities, not only the human beings, cats, and dogs, but also the greater controllers of the material world, Brahma, Lord Shiva, and even Vishnu, are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada, we have a brilliant edition of the Bhagavad Gita. Jai Prabhupada. Wait, I have one more slide. Thank you for listening to my presentation and have a great day. Hari Bol. What?
Thank you, Agastya. Next, can we have Sai Krishna now?
Hari Bol. My name is Sai Krishna and today I'll be presenting 18.58. Matchitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyasi atache tvam ahankaran nashoshasi minakshasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you did not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. This verse mostly explains about how if you take up Krishna consciousness to your fullest extent, Krishna will guide you through all your obstacles of life and take care of all your needs to help you advance in the path of bhakti. Krishna is your most dear friend and well-wisher. He looks for your welfare at every moment. So, if you take this path which the Lord Himself prescribed for this age, you will certainly be freed from all material perplexities and achieve the highest goal. Whereas for miscreants who look at this path as one of the as a ritualistic activity, or people who don't practice Krishna consciousness regularly, they will keep on suffering in this material world and will never find satisfaction. But still, Krishna is so kind and keeps giving them chances to advance spiritually. I would like to share a story. So there was once a Brahmana named Sudama. I'm sure everybody knows this, but I just want to explain how it relates to this verse. Sudama was a very, very poor Brahmana. He only had rags to live on, and he and his wife could barely live on anything. He had a little hut to live in, and yet he was so advanced spiritually. I would like to explain about how when Sudama went to Krishna's palace, he only had some burnt chip rice, and still the Lord Shri Krishna took 2 morsels of rice, and in return gave Sudama a huge palace bedecked with jewels, lots of bedrooms, anything, and still Sudama respectfully he received that and still continued in the path of bhakti. I would like to explain how that if you follow this Krishna conscious movement, Krishna will guide you, and you do not have to worry about any your other needs, and Krishna will fulfill your needs. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sai Krishna. Yes, that's true. You can keep it there. Krishna also says that if we become his devotee, then this huge, vast, unsurmountable ocean of material existence can become something like a calf's footprint if we follow his path. So thank you so much for that realization. Next up we have Krishna Chaitanya.
Always Be with Krishna by Krishna Chaitanya Perla. Shloka, Chapter 18, The Perfection of Renunciation, Verse 78. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Parthur Dhanavardhara, Tatra Sherva Jaya Bhuter Dravani Tirmatir Mama. Translation. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. Story. Once in the Mahabharata, Krishna said he would come to Hastinapur to stay with the 5 Pandavas. In one of those days, they went to the forest. Suddenly, Agni appeared in front of them. He asked if they could help him fight Indra because he has been starving for days because his friend is there. Krishna and Arjuna said sure. Agni gave them a lot of weapons. One of them was a chakra. It came to be known as the Sudarshan chakra. Finally Krishna said that to Indra that his friend was not in the forest, and Agni ate up the forest. Summary. There is a war between Yudhishthira and Duryodhana. Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya for the percentage of victory for the Kauravas. Duryodhana's side has great warriors like Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, etc. Yudhishthira's side has Krishna and Arjuna. In spite of great warriors in Duryodhana's party, Yudhishthira is going to get victory. Yudhishthira had the Almighty Supreme Lord Krishna himself, who is the master of all mystic powers. Wherever he is the ultimate Lord with all six opulences. Wherever Krishna and Arjuna is, that team is certain to be victorious. Conclusion. Be religious and always follow Dharma. Always remember Krishna and never forget him. Then Krishna is always with you, and then victory is always with you. Thank you for watching. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Sai Krishna. Next up, we'll have Sunidhi.
Sai Krishna.
Sorry, Krishna Chaitanya. Verse 4.7.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णापृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। Dear my devotees, I am going to talk to you about verse 4.7 of the Bhagavad Gita. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. Whenever and wherever there is declines in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, in a predominant rise of religion, at that time I descend myself. The word Srijami is significant here. Srijami means that the Lord manifests himself as he is. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is a decline in religious practice. Principles of religion are laid down in the Vedas, and any mistake in the matter of properly executing the rules are made of the Vedas that make one irreligious. The Lord directly orders at the end of the Gita that the highest principle at the religion is to surrender unto Him only. Haribol.
Wow, such an awesome understanding of such a high principle by such a small girl. That's commendable. Thank you, Sunidhi. Next up we have Shivani, and she'll be presenting verse 7.7.
Bhagavad Gita Shloka 7.7 presented by Shivani Anand. Mataha paratram nanyat kinchad asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani gana iva. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearl strung on a thread. Main points from the Main points from the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Absolute Truth. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. The Absolute Truth is the Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord and the reservoirs of all pleasure. Govinda is the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. In the first picture you see here, in a pearl necklace, there are many pearls held together by one string. Similarly, Krishna, who is providing his multi-energies both in the material world and the spiritual world. Haribol.
Wow, what an awesome way to end the presentation. I feel like we, the Seattle congregation, our kids here are all strung together by the inspiration of Harivilas Prabhu. So thank you so much for inspiring us so much, Prabhu. And to all our kids who have such wonderful understanding of Bhagavad Gita at such an early age, which I don't think any of us adults who are here had at that age. So thank you again for presenting your understanding and inspiring us. I would like to thank Tarka Prabhu, Durga Machadi, and all the other Prabhus in these back stage who were helping guide the slides. So thank you very much. This ends our Gita Fair presentation for the kids. We'll hopefully come back again with something nicer from the kids. Thank you.
We want to thank Nupur, Mataji, and Srinivas Kasam, and all the other parents that have taken the time to bring their children to learn these wonderful things, to take part in the Chad, and so forth. So, thank you very much. And Srila Prabhupada said, double it. So, double down and go further. Hare Krishna.